Recording. Oh, friends, I got a treat for you today. I have a wonderful, brilliant, kind, systematic, automatic. You think I'm going to say grease lightning, but I'm not. It's Paul Sokol.
Hi.
Talk about a treat.
A Cocker Spaniel treat.
Yeah, a Cocker Spaniel treat. And I talk a lot about how important it is to like hang out with smart people and be around people that are different than you. And Paul has a very unique, like creative engineer, like all cylinders firing type brain, which if you know me at all, I'm very like slapdash and like whatever and this is great. You're doing great. I'm gonna make it up as I go. And so like Paul and me together is just like it is a special sauce. And I think you're really gonna enjoy this conversation today. So
Oh yeah.
Paul, tell us about yourself. Let's start easy. Where do you live? What do you enjoy? And then we'll talk about business.
Where do I live and what do I enjoy? So my main digs is out in Phoenix, in Chandler, by the Keep Mecca out there. And where do I live? And what's that question? Where I live? What do I do?
What do you
That's
like?
how we're getting. What do I love?
What do you enjoy?
What do I enjoy? I enjoy heavy metal. Like I'm wearing an Immortal shirt today because yeah. And what's cool is they're there with their guitars in the snow, and it's like 95, like 1995. So it's like,
back in the good hair days, just like you.
The good. Oh yeah, oh god, my hair is so frizzy and terrible and whatnot. That's it's tied up. I'll let it down here. I'll let it. I should have prepared more for this, but you'll get to see this in person.
Yes,
I'll make sure that it's well maintained.
Under the Hair emails. If you are not on Paul's email list, it's called Under the Hair. It is extremely worth it. It's brilliant. Dude, you're just so brilliant, and it's probably because, like Regina George, your hair is full of secrets. So tell us more about your
my hair doesn't want me to tell you those secrets.
Oh, okay. All right.
What?
Okay.
So what? No, but let's see. Well, thank you for the Under the Hair plug. Yeah, no, I have fun with that. I've been doing that for 9 years, I believe. It's volume 9. We're in this.
Stop.
Yeah. Back when I was when it was Infusionsoft, I think sometime in 2012, 2013, I said I should start collecting an email list because people started to knew that I was a person. So I've been collecting an email list, and I think the very first one was at like the very end of 2012, maybe. And yeah, now we're in volume 9. It hasn't been anything consistent at all. I've been up and down, the past whole decade, but like I'm getting better at it. The last one was super cool. I totally blew the lid off my mentoring model that I've been doing for people for quite some time.
You like literally quite often reveal secrets like that. Yes, I'm being silly, but like one of my favorite blog posts you ever did was you were like, we're gonna create a fake server on Amazon today for free. Here's a free WordPress website. Like I stayed up late one night and I made it. Like you and Brina like killed it. It was so fun. So if you ever want to know just like down and dirty tricks, get on that email list. It's amazing. So
yes.
So speaking of which, let's talk about like what you're awesome at professionally. Tell us.
I don't know. I'm kind of like a Renaissance man. So a lot of people don't know that I actually have gotten a lot of training on creative tools since middle school. So like school I went to learn, and in computer class learned like Photoshop and PowerPoint-ish type programs in like middle school and some basic HTML. And then in high school doing some stuff with like Flash and video editing. And then in college I produced some DVDs, like literally you put them in, there's a menu, and it's all sorts of hijinks. Because I was like a skate punk in high school too, like heavy metal skate kid, because CKY, all that jazz, Bam Margera. So, made all sorts of skate videos. And then this whole time I was like being a nerd, going to school for electrical engineering, but I got hooked into selling knives. I got hooked into selling Cutco my very first semester freshman year. It turns out I was pretty good at it. So that was kind of my first taste of like business, but I'd always been kind of businessy. I sold candy on the bus in middle school. I'd buy Fun Dip for a dime at the dollar store and sell them for a quarter. And I was like big rolling in the bucks, back in the
Mhm.
day. Um, that's my first experience with receivables, having to collect. It's a fun one. Um, and then so at the start of grad school, one of my me and one of my best buddies started a video email company, and that's where I first got exposed to Infusionsoft in 2008 in the summer. And so we we quickly we were using that to service the clients and onboard people, and then we became certified partners in their old CMAC program, the Certified Marketing Automation Coach program, which is a very different program than it is now. Um, and then at the end of grad school, the short version was you can't get a job with a master's degree out of college in electrical engineering, not unless I wanted to be a sales engineer, which I'm not interested in that. So I switched coasts in 24 hours and worked at an incubator basically for a couple of months, and then ended up having a breakdown and getting kicked out of that joint, and was couch surfing and homeless for a little bit. And then through a series of miracles got picked up as first of all, I got picked up to work at the wine bank in downtown San Diego, and like that kind of like took me off the streets and gave me like a place to sleep and food and shit.
Wow.
And then I'm assuming we can swear, right?
Yeah. Cheers.
Okay, awesome. And then shortly thereafter, getting picked up as a success coach, and then that's where I met Greg, a good buddy, Greg Jenkins. Soon thereafter, he was a couple hiring classes after me, and yep, did that. And then the Campaign Builder came out in 2012, which is the visual automation thing. And so I immediately was like, I want to be one of the best in the world at this. This is awesome. And that's kind of what I ended up doing, and ended up writing a book that's basically a recipe book of not just that, but also it's an email marketing book really, because
Right.
it's screenshots of everything, and all the copy and all the content's generic enough to where, it doesn't matter what system you're in. And now, let's see, since 2016, it's basically been me and Brina running a boutique little high-end agency. And a couple of years ago, we rebranded to Be Pro, which is absolutely totally our brand promise and what we believe in. If you're going to do something, you might as well be pro about it, even if it's going to be a pain in the butt or takes a little extra longer, even more expensive. Like, just be pro about it. Try and do it the best that you know how.
So
Um,
you say boutique. Like what do you guys particularly specialize in that makes it so unique that way?
so we're boutique in the sense that we'll work with all parts of the business. So we can help with automation, obviously with the market, automation and advertising and the marketing parts of the journey and the sales parts of the journey, even the fulfillment part, helping with the
Mhm.
delivery of whatever people got. But also, what a lot of people forget is you can use automation in the operational parts of your business. For example, I was a show promoter for a couple of years, and I used the pipeline module to book the shows. And so behind the scenes, just getting the show booked and getting the artists and the date and all that put together, that was a pipeline. And once a week, me and my partner, who was also named Paul, which is why we were Pauling Events, it was me and Paul Benson. So, um, yep. And it was super cool because he owned the Club Red in Phoenix, and that was just the in-house booking arm of it. So whenever someone approached the club and they're like, "Hey, we want to do a show," and they didn't have a promoter, we're like, "Cool, we'll talk to us and we'll see if you can do it."
Wow.
But as far as being boutique, working across all parts of the business, we've built automation for finance stuff. We're doing a big research, and we got an exciting offer coming up on the people systems part of stuff.
Mm.
So from the even just getting clear on what do we need to hire for, how are we going to make sure they're trained properly, and then making sure that like we've legally protected our butt. Do we have an employee handbook and different policies, things like that, and then intentionally designing the hiring journey, and not just throwing it out there and, hey, email resume here. Like that's okay if that email is being specifically monitored, or that's only for resumes, or if that's by design. And then even the interview process, because I mean, Jade, it's hard to, especially these days, to determine what someone's skill level is in an area. And so designing almost an audition to figure out someone really has the skill sets, and like maybe intentionally designing something where like there's a key piece of information missing, and if someone's an expert, they're going to be able to identify that like there's a hole in this engine right here, that kind of stuff.
It sounds like you
So
really describe things in like full systems, and like you're
mhm,
like a very like
holistically.
visual, like mapped out type person. Like nothing is unrelated, it seems like.
Oh, everything's connected. I mean, that's getting a degree in electrical engineering. As I was telling you before we started recording, I build people circuits, marketing circuits, where instead of electrons pushing through some resistor, it's people pushing through a landing page, and you get out what you get out depending on a variety of factors. But the fact is, you put 100 people in, if 10 people come out the other side, all right, cool, well, there you go. It's a person voltage divider. And then it just kind of cascades down from there.
I feel like that's
um,
a bigger mouthful than the word funnel.
yeah, funnel is a simple way to put it. It's all the same. It's all talking about the same thing.
Mhm.
um, at the end of the day, kind of like the human body is the human body, and that once you know the parts of it, like as a doctor, you know what they are. I feel like at this point, working with probably like individually, probably close to about 1,000 businesses individually, maybe, and I've definitely impacted at least that or more with the campaigns of the month that I was releasing, and the cookbook, and just conversations
Mhm.
like this. Who knows who I've impacted, which is why I love doing this kind of stuff. It's like just throwing a rock into the ripple of the universe, and whatever waves happen, cool. I did something there.
Well, it's all about
Um,
the connections and the people.
mhm, it is.
Sure.
So I guess that's kind of why we're boutique, because we're not just going to be like,
Mhm.
if someone's like, hey, we need this landing page and this thing, we're not just gonna be like, great, here's a landing page. We're gonna be like, cool, what are you selling? Like, what are you saying on the landing page? Who's writing it? How fast is it? That's the thing that's really getting a lot of people lately, is website speed. Um, a lot of people really don't pay attention to how important that is. Most people aren't going to sit and hang around and wait for a website to load. Um,
Hmm.
Beyond about 5 to 10 seconds, maybe, and especially because a lot of traffic's on mobile, you really got to make sure your site's humming along. Um, Especially if you're doing something like a sales page and you're running paid traffic to it, you want to make sure you're greasing that slide.
Well, I mean, that's like
Is the
honestly, I
phrase.
mean, that going full circle, but like that's why you're so cool. I mean, like I
Thanks.
have totally different strengths, and I would never think about something like that. So it's like it's really important to like have people like that. And usually at this point when I'm chatting on the show, I would normally ask my guest, I would say like, what was your breaking point into entrepreneurship? But like you've literally always been an entrepreneur. So I'm going to reverse engineer
Ish.
that
Yeah.
question, and I'm going to ask you like, what do you think has helped you get clarity on your entrepreneurial path? Because you have so many random talents. Like you love music, you love circuits, you love automation. Like how did you get to choose what you're doing now, and where you want to be?
How did I get to choose where I'm doing now and where I want to be? Like, well, some of the choices the world made for me. Um, I definitely wasn't paying attention to my mental health for, up until probably like mid 2018. And even then, it was kind of like a rough journey. I just now finally, 2021, feel like I'm actually really starting to tackle like what's there and what's going on. So uh, it's a hell of a journey. So if you're listening and you're dealing with any kind of like mental health shit and it's just not fun and you are just straight up not having a good time, bro, be courageous enough to get just some kind of help, because you don't got to deal with that. Especially if it's something like if you're really struggling with like suicidal thoughts, like persistent ones, like it's normal human response. If you have a shitty day, oh man, I wish I was dead. But like, if you're like, if that's happening all the time and it's just like in the space a lot, that's not something that's normal, and you shouldn't have to struggle against that, because that prevents you from all the other shit that you're trying to do.
Do you think that your mental
Plus,
health like led to decisions that you made?
oh yeah, 100%. Like all the I'm basically the result of my mental health. Indecisions would probably be a better choice.
Mm,
Because like if I had known what I know now,
yeah.
well, I mean, I still would have gotten let go from Keep 6 months later. My whole team got shit canned. So whether it happened in the summer or not, I would have been out. And like, yeah, it's hard to be an entrepreneur. So like I got here, I guess, because like I don't play well with others, like as far as a team, like I'm a bad leader. Like I'm not really good at developing people. And I know this isn't like painting me in the best light, but like, know thyself. I'm like this weird. Are you familiar with the idea of the omega? Actually, one of my good buddies
Mm-mm.
uh, introduced me to this the other day. So talk about omega, full circle, right? So this, my only tattoo, Aphex Twin, right? Rich Moore in high school introduced me to Aphex Twin, immediately fell in love. And I said, I want to go to school to do stuff to make sound. And I always knew I wanted to be some kind of sciencey engineer thing, but that sealed it, electrical engineer. So here we are. And then last weekend I was in Tampa at a show that I was pushing, and he happened to also be in St. Petersburg in the same area. So he came out and we hung out, and he was sharing with me the idea of the omega. And you've heard of probably like, the alphas and the betas, and at the end you have the omegas. And the if people were walking in a line, like the alphas would be at the front with the betas behind, and the omegas would be at the end, but they wouldn't be like right at the end. They'd kind of be trailing back a little bit, really just kind of guarding the six or whatever, just making sure shit's cool. And if stuff's going down, they're in there real quick. And so I'm definitely not an alpha, and but I'm not necessarily a beta. But the way my brain works, it's black and white, like hot or cold. Like if it's not one side, it's the other. There's never like that green on the fucking roulette wheel with Paul Sokol's head. I'm working on it. I'm learning about that gray, but like that's just a thing that my head does. So like if I'm not an alpha and I'm this beta, well, like I'm just this like wimpy, not feeling it. But the idea of being an omega explains a lot, because omegas don't really kind of play well. Like omegas, the people above them will love them because they know what they're doing, and if there's a team beneath them, the team beneath them will love them. But their peers always kind of butt heads because like we're peers. If it's a dumb idea, I'll tell you to your face it's fucking stupid. I'll probably be a little more tactful, and I'm going to tell you. So and then full circle, here we are. I'm sharing with you omegas.
I love that. I mean, I would be the one next to you still telling you you're doing great, but it
Yeah,
takes all kinds,
it does take all kinds. Well, that's the thing that I'm really coming to grips with, and trying to not be so like misanthropic like towards the world. Like really, like it's a thing that I got to try and not just like look at humanity with such disgust, because it's not helpful. And I know that like I said, everybody's got a place. It's like worker bees are worker bees. They're there for a reason. If there's no worker bees, society wouldn't work. So like you can't shit on the worker bees just because they're a worker bee. That's like an egoic thing to do, and that's like what I'm starting to learn, which is ridiculous, because I'm 35 years old. You'd think that I've learned this at some point, but it's actually something written down from a conversation with one of my therapists this week. It says, how can I fully and truly accept others and what they give to the world? Right. So not just like looking down at the dude at the leaf blower and just talking shit because he's blowing the leaf blower, annoying it. Like, no, this guy's beautifying the neighborhood, and especially so I don't have to do it, and those kinds of things. So trying to be a little less I don't know. Yeah, misanthropic. That's the word. That's it.
Well,
I bet you didn't expect this conversation to go in anywhere these directions, Jade.
No,
This guy got way
you're
philosophical
awesome.
for a little bit.
You're doing great. But you made a really good point. You were like, entrepreneurship alone is very, very hard. And some people are just like go-getters. Some people like me are like, I'm going to make this up as I go. Some people have good mental health. Some people have bad mental health. But there's really no like uniform personality or like mental like perspective that it like that owns entrepreneurship. I think it's like a creative thing and it's like a driven thing. And it's
Mhm.
hard. It's
Oh yeah.
hard.
It
It's
that's
hard
another
for
reason I'm writing this
anybody.
book. That's another reason I'm writing this book. I want to try and take what I've learned and just put it in simple terms, because like the fundamental components of a business aren't that hard. Like I mean, I was sharing it before the show, but there's 7 pieces to it. You have your offers. So what is it you're selling? Your products or services. You've got the marketing, sales, and fulfillment journey. So how someone receives your offers, and then the behind the scenes operations, and then the people that are part of that, and then the money at the bottom, and that's it. So if you're one person trying to spin all those plates, yeah, it's overwhelming, especially if those aren't even distinct for you. Um, Especially because a lot of it is a balancing act. Like you may sell a lot of projects, do a whole bunch of sales stuff, and then you have to like shift into fulfillment mode, do a whole bunch of fulfillment, but like, oh crap, I can't stop marketing. So let me go ahead and get a blog post out, without letting the sales conversation dry. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. Um, and so it does come down to that drive, being those entrepreneurial types. I heard, and I think this might have been something that Brina was sharing about back in the day. There's the hunter and the gatherers, right? There'd be the people that would go out and hunt the saber-toothed cats and risk their lives and bring back the big feast. And then there'd be the people that would stay back and make sure things, there was a homestead and they were finding the water and the berries and the nuts and the things that we didn't have to hunt down and kill. You have got to have both of them. Well, the idea is that entrepreneurs like you and I, we're the hunters. We're the modern day hunters. So we're the people that in modern day, we're going out there with like, with saber-toothed cat loincloths and like spears and just like trying to put like this, mammoth's eye out because we're hungry, and hopefully not get stomped to death. But modern way. And then there's the gatherers, which are the people that just get did I lose your audio? Am I not?
No, you're great.
Okay, that was you laughed and you
Yeah.
smiled and but it was completely silent. It's like that was
That's because I cackle.
weird.
Like I literally cackle like 1990s Roseanne. I can't help it.
Okay, well now I want to get you to cackle,
Yeah,
especially on recording.
no,
I'm gonna figure out
it's
something to
really bad.
make you cackle.
It's not show not that anything about my casual interview style is show
Yeah,
appropriate, but
exactly.
you know
Where I'm
what?
gonna get that Roseanne Barr cackle out of you. What
It's
is it like at the end of the theme song? Like,
yeah, you even get the reference. That's me.
all right. We'll do that. I'm gonna have to. I'll figure something out. I don't. We'll maybe make you laugh, but I don't even know
Talk
what we were
about
talking about. All of a
talk
sudden,
about the
Roseanne
highs
showed
and
up.
lows of like the
Oh
topic. But
yeah.
I mean, like I really appreciate your vulnerability because first of all, like I said, entrepreneurship is hard, but like secondly, I think it's 2021, y'all. Like there is no stigma on like real vulnerable conversations about who you are and how you feel, because no one's going to get better if you don't talk about it. If you can't be yourself and get help when you need it. And I think you said it really really well. Like get help if you are not doing well. And I think the world is a better place when you're well, because you're super smart and you help businesses grow. And it's like let's all just be in a place where we can help each other. It just and that's like in the spirit of entrepreneurship anyway. It's all amazing.
It
So,
is.
and it's super opportunistic because the next question that I have teed up for you is, what would you tell yourself back then that now, like when you were young, early
What?
20s,
Yeah.
trying to
What
figure out
age?
like do I want to go to college? Do I want to do this? Do I want to keep selling candy? Like what am I going to be when I grow up? What would you tell yourself, knowing everything that you've been through, how hard it is, the discoveries of your mental health, the opportunities that lie in being self-employed, knowing that's all in front of you? What would you say?
I'm gonna just say, let's say 18-year-old. Paul or something like that. So
Sure.
first thing I'd say would be like, yo, buy that Dark Funeral and that Sargeist CD at Boogie Woogie, because like you're gonna want to have those in your collection. So like just buy that shit. Second thing is, what would I tell myself to not totally like ruin the timeline I'm in now? Man, this is a wild ass question. It's in fact there's have you ever done an email time capsule?
No.
There's services out there where like you write an email and then like it delivers it to you 5 years later. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's futureme.org is yeah, look at I have an email from December that I need to write to myself in the future, and so like this is a
That's
really
like
interesting
the
thought-provoking
Easter egg
thing.
of this episode. That's
Oh
like
yeah, it's great. It's so cool.
that's amazing.
What would I tell 18-year-old me, man? Other than like, buy that media, I would say
Yeah, I'm not talking like buy Apple stock. I'm talking like
yeah. No,
giving
that I mean like
giving young you advice, knowing how
yeah.
hard and awesome it's gonna be. What would you tell yourself to help get through it?
Continue to be curious about tomorrow.
Hmm.
That's probably like the one thing I'd tell myself that wouldn't put me on some path that's going to be vastly different than where I ended up. Just always be curious about tomorrow.
That was worth the wait. That was a good one.
I'm good.
That was a really good one. That's applicable to
I'm totally
business.
out of stuff to drink, by the way. So,
Yeah.
you want to get excited? You want to get stoked out on something? Check this out. Because I'm a big nerd for limited edition stuff. Check this out. Limited edition Red Hot Goldfish.
How is that even a thing?
Oh, it's limited edition. That's the yeah.
Oh
But
my gosh.
I'm so parched. It's ridiculous. I should have grabbed. I'm like surrounded in like seltzer cans, trying to.
I drink seltzer all day. You're like my spirit animal, and that's okay because this is
What's
my
your favorite seltzer kind? What do you?
I like the Kroger stores have like soda flavored ones. So they have like Coke flavored and root
Oh,
beer flavored and
really?
Dr. Pepper
Okay.
flavored. And it's water, so you're not drinking crap all day. It's amazing. You're welcome. Guys, Easter eggs full in this episode. Mental health tips, snack tips.
Oh, what about Infusionsoft Easter eggs? The Sudoku that's hidden in the footer. You ever seen that?
Yes, I saw that in the Monkey Pod Grove the other day. Friends, if you can navigate, and I'll probably put it when we post the episode, I'll include it in social posts. You guys, there is an Easter egg. You can play Sudoku
Inside the app. It's been there for about a decade. Like someone snuck it in there a long
I
time
only
ago.
learned about it like last month. That was, guys, did you know? You probably had no idea you're going to learn so many cool things. And that's okay that you're thirsty, because here's my last question. It's really easy for you. How can people learn more about you and follow you? How can they sign up for your Under the Hair? How can they buy your book? And what's your next book?
So definitely go to paulsokol.me and sign up. And it's probably, at least for right now, a really have you been to paulsokol.me? I know you're on my list, but do you remember how unimpressive it is?
I wouldn't
like intentionally. Go look at it again if you want. paulsokol.me. It's very intentionally unimpressive, because like I kind of don't want people there that are just like, I don't know, casual business folk. Like there's plenty of other people out there. Like when I write those emails, it's maybe once every month or so. I'm really trying to like put some good education out there. So I don't really want to waste people's time. So like it's intentionally like crummy little landing page to really let people know that they're in the right place.
It's not flashy. It's like sign up because this is good.
And you can get some music if you're interested in that. And then I'm all over the internet socially too. So I am facebook.com/underthehair. And then I'm also all over LinkedIn, and I'm on Twitter as well. Let's see. And then the cookbook, just Google Infusionsoft cookbook and go to the Amazon listing and buy it, and that'll be the best way to do it. And
And
the
what do you
next
have
book is
coming
the
out?
Business Stack. Yeah, I was talking about the business of the 7 parts, right?
I'm so
That's what I teach is the Business Stack, and I've been teaching it for years. And so that's what my next book is going to be about, a plain English, how business works. So if you want to go do something and you think there's money in it, and like you've crunched the numbers and it seems to make sense, you're not going to have any blind spots. You're not going to build a human without a skeletal system just because you didn't know that, oh God, there's supposed to be bones here. Whoops.
yeah, and it's
That'd be
tool
weird.
agnostic, by the way. So this is
It is tool agnostic.
not a keep book. It's a business book. It's a strategy book. It's a
Mhm.
how
It's
not to
actually
ruin your business book.
it's actually bridging the gap between strategy and tactic, because like that's
Mhm.
one thing that the publisher makes you do is you have to do a competitive analysis of where things are at. And so there's all sorts of really high level books about, you know, strategy, executive leadership, and then there's all sorts of ground level like technical nerdy stuff, but there's not really anything in the middle. And so that's that sweet spot I'm really trying to hit.
I'm super duper looking forward to that. Let me know when it comes out so we can share with the fam.
Of course.
Because it's going to be so good. But thank you so much for doing this interview. I knew it was going to be all over the place and I loved it.
Oh, here's a PS to this, right? One of
Yes.
the most read parts of an email. I'm going to be doing a virtual book tour when it comes out. So do you think I could come back on the show when the book's coming out and do another little tour stop virtually?
Yes. And
Okay.
is that true? Is the PS the most commonly read part of an email?
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you make that up?
No, that's real.
Easter
That's the
egg, you
thing.
guys.
Yeah.
Little nuggets of
I'm
amazing.
always right. Yeah. I try to say stuff that I'm real confident in that I know. But here's what I'm going to do, Jade. I'm going to make a brand new Evernote. You're the first official person on the list of the virtual book tour. So look at that. You'll kick it off. You'll be
And
the
you even
kickoff
got me
tour.
to cackle a little bit. So I mean, win-win.
I want you to cackle. No, we're going to do it. We'll make you laugh like, okay, how about this? How about this? You can be the first show, but you got to give me Roseanne Barr a cackle right now. What makes you laugh? What's funny?
I did. I can't force that.
Okay, I won't do that too. That was mean. But wow. If I was in the room, my eardrums would have just gone, and like every dog in the room ran. Okay, I won't do that to you.
Yeah.
But you are. I'm making a brand new Evernote, and you're the first one. That was a very high pitched. Like,
Guys, we're in it to win it. Thank you for watching. We'll be back on soon.